What is it about some people? They just seem to have better luck attracting others. I think we all remember at least one guy from high school that would always be dating out of their league. It's not that they were necessarily ugly, it just means they outperformed the expectations. We would say a person like that has game. Men and women with game have a tangible social skill that goes beyond having money, looks, or fame. Pete Davidson, at only 31 years old, already has a Hall of Fame dating resume. John F. Kennedy had a superpower when it came to courting the movie stars of his day. Queen Cleopatra was able to keep her rule in Egypt thanks to relationships she was able to form with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. If we were to look back in history, who can we point to as having the best resume of all time? Using their dating history, we can make a case for 5 elite individuals. Let's explore these notorious players and their inspiring body of work. First up, Cleopatra. Modern writings often portray her as the ultimate seductress, but contemporary records hint at someone far more nuanced. Cleopatra's love life is most notably associated with 2 powerful Roman men, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, both of whom she had significant political alliances and romantic relationships. Her dating life was a series of strategic moves to retain her power as the Queen of Egypt. Cleopatra and Julius Caesar met in 48 BC when Cleopatra snuck into Caesar's palace in Alexandria. She was 21 and he was 52. She arranged to have herself wrapped in a carpet and delivered to Caesar's room. They had a whirlwind romance and a son together. Their relationship continued for a few years until Caesar's death. After Caesar's assassination, she returned to Egypt. In 41 BC, Roman leader Mark Antony sent for Cleopatra while he was staying in the city of Tarsus, near the coast of what is now Turkey. He had first met Cleopatra in Rome when she had been the young mistress of his mentor, Caesar. Ancient accounts, especially by Plutarch, suggest that Cleopatra's charm was in her personality and voice, rather than conventional beauty. She was said to have a mesmerizing way of speaking, a pleasant voice, and an ability to adapt her demeanor to suit her audience. Cleopatra's beauty routine included donkey milk and aloe vera baths to moisturize her skin. She also enhanced her eyes with finely ground green malachite. Henry VIII had the most wives of any English monarch. He secretly married Anne Boleyn while still married to Catherine of Aragon. The Pope refused to annul Henry's marriage to Catherine, so Henry introduced something called the Act of Supremacy. This act made him, and all of his heirs, supreme head of the Church of England. This meant that the Pope no longer held religious authority in England, and Henry was free to divorce Catherine to marry Anne Boleyn. This man separated England from the Roman Catholic Church and created the Church of England just so he could divorce and marry more women. After this move, Henry VIII would go on to marry 5 more times. Anne Boleyn, charismatic, but ultimately executed on charges of adultery and treason. Historians still debate the extent of the truth behind these accusations. Jane Seymour provided Henry with a son, Edward, but died shortly after childbirth. Anne of Cleves. Their union was quickly annulled. Henry deemed her appearance disappointing, though they remained on friendly terms post-divorce. Catherine Howard. Another beheading, allegedly for treason after accusing her of adultery and having affairs before their marriage. Catherine Parr. She actually outlived Henry and served as something of a caretaker in his final years. In his youth, Henry was known for his athleticism, charm, and intelligence. Later, illness and a festering leg wound contributed to paranoia and his awful temper. Henry VIII's dating resume may be the stuff of nightmares for modern standards, especially with 2 of his former wives beheaded under questionable circumstances. But the pimpness of a man who permanently changed the Catholic Church and England to better suit his love life is impossible to ignore. Giacomo Casanova, a man whose name is the dictionary definition of a man known for seducing women and having many lovers. Casanova was renowned for a prolific dating life, famously detailed in his autobiography, where he described numerous affairs with women from all social classes, including actresses, nuns, and noblewomen, highlighting his reputation as a master of seduction. Although he never married and frequently moved on to new conquests, his approach was considered quite progressive for his time, as he valued intelligence and genuine connection with his partners beyond just physical attraction. News of Casanova's escapades spread. His distasteful affairs with everyone from married women and nuns, his gambling, his association with Freemasonry, it all caught up to him. At 30 years old, Casanova was arrested by the Venice tribunal, primarily, they told him, for his public outrages against the holy religion. Casanova claimed to have had over 100 lovers, though some estimate he may have had as many as 132. He could seamlessly adjust his demeanor to suit different social situations and individuals. He was adept at quickly assessing a person's interests, desires, and vulnerabilities, allowing him to tailor his conversation and behavior accordingly. In 2010, the National Library of France purchased the original version of Casanova's erotic memoir for approximately 7 million euros. Catherine the Great reigned over Russia for 30 years until her death. Modernizing the empire with ambitious political reforms, the rumors spread by political enemies fixated instead on her romantic life. Experts put her numerous love affairs in the range of 12 to 22 men. She's often described as having been attractive. Born in 1684, she was originally a peasant and later became the wife of Peter the Great. Contemporary descriptions suggest she had a charming and engaging personality, which likely contributed to her appeal. Her choice of romantic partners in high places helped her work with Grigory Orlov to stage her husband's removal. While Peter III was away on vacation in St. Petersburg, she got to work, meeting with the military and setting up a takeover. Upon Peter III's return, he was arrested and forced to step down after 6 months on the throne, leaving Catherine to take the reign. Just 8 days later, Peter III was strangled to death, coincidentally at the hands of Gregory's younger brother, Alexei. Most scholars are in agreement that Catherine, despite her sleeping arrangement with Gregory, was unaware of the plans to kill her husband. Catherine would go on to have many lovers, including military officers, wealthy nobles, and admirals. She was a romantic who enjoyed being in love and was known to choose her lovers carefully. Most of her relationships lasted at least a couple of years, and she was never in a relationship with more than one person at a time. When she was tired of someone, she would sometimes give them some land, a palace, and some money. Embellished with a reputation for being sexually promiscuous, the longest reigning empress of Russia was actually a serial monogamist who sent her exes off with lovely parting gifts. No list of legendary lovers is complete without Lord Byron, one of the major figures of the Romantic movement. He is regarded as being among the greatest poets of the United Kingdom. Byron turned personal anguish into some of the world's most influential poetry. Notorious for his robust sex life, he had raging cases of gonorrhea and syphilis by age 21. Rumored to have slept with at least 200 women and a few men during a 3-year period in Venice. He was renowned for his personal beauty, which he enhanced by wearing curl papers in his hair at night. He was athletic, being a competent boxer, horse rider, and swimmer. Prioritizing a lean figure, at the time he entered Cambridge University, he went on to have a strict diet to control his weight. For most of his life, he was a vegetarian, and often lived for days on dry biscuits and white wine. Byron's love life was as dramatic as his poetry. His relationships were often destructive. He had many debts, and his scandalous affairs and failed marriage contributed to his decision to leave England in 1816. 145 years after Byron's death, a memorial to him was finally placed in Westminster Abbey. If we look at these captivating individuals, we can see some recurring themes. Unwavering confidence was key. Being a well-rounded person was a common factor with all of these people, not relying solely on looks or intelligence, money or power. It takes an all-around proficient person to maximize any of those things. In different ways, they all had game. Some used it for practical ends, Others embraced it just for the fun of it. Romance is rarely just a private affair. It can inspire art, in some cases shape nations, and spark debate years later.